Hello, Paul. My name is Claude Powell, and I'm the Intuit Business Development Manager covering the region of Calgary. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today for what will be a very informative session as our presenter, Kelly Parks, takes us through the topic of optimizing your browser for cloud software productivity. Feel free throughout the 30-minute session to pose any questions you may have online, and we'll do our best to provide you with answers to those questions. In the event those questions aren't answered online, we'll seek Kelly's help in providing answers to the remaining questions. So who's Kelly? Kelly is a relentless organizer and believes cloud financial technology is key to successful organization. She's an ardent devotee to QuickBooks Online and loves working with apps that integrates with cloud accounting software, making these solutions specifically suited to your individual businesses. Kelly started the process of adopting cloud financial technology for her own business practice in 2012 and now has migrated most of her clients to the cloud platform. Kelly loves introducing QBO and its app partners program to accountants and their clients. She now spends much of her day educating accounting firms and small and medium businesses. However, she ensures there is adequate time to focus on her bookkeeping clients' day-to-day accounting requirements. Cloud accounting technology has made it possible for Kelly to enjoy working from out-of-country locations for the majority of the winter, while seamlessly maintaining her training and bookkeeping business. Kelly and her husband Jeff, a fly fishing guide, have 3 grown kids, an elderly Australian Shepherd. She's an avid runner, water and snow skier, and a live music fan. She's a certified professional bookkeeper, QBO Advanced certified, HubDoc Advanced partner, Wage1 certified, Pluto partner, and much more. It is a privilege to have her today sharing her experience and knowledge with us. And as such, I will now turn the presentation over to Kelly.
Hi there. Wow, that was a very nice intro. Thank you very much, Claude. So this is a fairly quick webinar. What I have found is when I've been training people, or as Ron Baker would say, educating people, as I'm out there in the world training people on the cloud financial technology such as HubDoc, QuickBooks Online, all of these programs, I was finding that people are not optimizing their browser and that they were frustrated with the way that some of the technology was working. For sure, when you are using internet-based programs such as QuickBooks Online and HubDoc, you will find that it can be kind of glitchy. It's what it is that it's using just a ton of information. It's bringing it into your browser, and then your browser needs to kick some of that information out or it starts to get confused. I know that that sounds like an odd little way to put it, but that's kind of how it works. And so I found that when I'm teaching people about the cloud-based programs, if I start with the browser education, they have a much better experience for it. So today we are going to talk about choosing your browser, which for me, the browser of choice is Chrome. A lot of the programs are built around Chrome, and Chrome seems to work best with a lot of the new SaaS technology out there. So if you have Chrome on your computer, it would be great if you opened it up now and you could walk along with me while we do some of these things. We're going to talk about setting up identities, connecting your Google account, going incognito, which is just fun to say, customizing your identities, bookmarking your browser, and maintaining best practices so that once you have everything set up, you're still using it correctly. We're going to talk about adding extensions and how to use tabs and bookmarks to change and add actions as well. So when I'm talking about FinTech, that is really financial technology is what we are calling it, and SaaS is software as a service. So this session is going to be about optimizing Chrome. I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of Edge or Explorer or any of the other programs. I do use Firefox as a backup if I am on a Mac, and I use Edge as a backup if I am on my PC, but I have not had to use them in a couple of years. It's been a while since I even had to think about going to a backup browser. The reason I use Chrome is that it's a quick browser. It loads and displays pages easily, and then this is a fun little bit of business for Chrome. So you can switch your tabs around so that you can add tabs, take them out of the way, especially if you have a dual monitor. You can add tabs, you can take them away, you can easily open a new tab and then go to something. So I find that that's a really great benefit of Chrome. And some of them don't have that where you can move your tabs around. I personally like the interface of Chrome, and I know that a lot of people do. Chrome is fun because it will ask you if you want to translate a page into another language. I think everybody knows that you can search on Chrome, or maybe everybody doesn't know. I know I make some of those assumptions. So you can search on Chrome right from here, and it will take you to whatever it is you want to search for. So you don't have to open up a second tab or window to search for things. Yeah, this is a great one. So let's say that right now, because I am running this in my browser, this deck, as we call it, is not live on my computer. I'm using it through Google Sheets. If my Google Sheets crashed, then other things like the GoToWebinar would not crash, or Dropbox would not crash, or most importantly, Sonos wouldn't crash. So that is another advantage of Chrome. So now we're going to talk about setting up identities. I set up identities because I find, for a number of reasons. The first one is it helps me stay on task. So I have different identities set up for the different things that I do in my computer life. This one in particular is my productivity identity, and it is where my email lies, it's where my 17 hacks lies, it's where stuff that once you're in there, you can get distracted by it. So I keep my productivity one as a separate identity, and then I only check on that every couple of hours. It also helps you keep the number of tabs down. So if you are working in a bunch of different things at once, if you have different identities, you can have your email, your GoToWebinar, whatever else you have going, you can hide that identity and then have your other identity open, and I'll show you another identity in a second. You can have your other identity open, and you won't lose the work that you're working in there. And you can see that, of course, I have QuickBooks running. So this is a great little bonus feature. Like I said, I don't check on my productivity until I have a set schedule for checking my emails, that type of thing. I also have this one, and we'll get back to how to set up identities in a second. But this one, I try not to bring out too often because you can really get lost in the world of Facebook, and Twitter and LinkedIn and all these fun things. So I'm not even allowed to open up this identity except for first thing in the morning and early in the evening if I want to take a look at my Facebook. You can, and this,
Are you showing the presentation that's titled Craig Design Landscaping and Service? That's what I'm seeing. I'm not sure if the others are seeing another.
No, I'm hoping that I'm showing the deck thing here. No, is that not showing?
What I'm seeing is
hold on. There. Now can you see it?
Optimizing, yes. No, it's showing. So, yes.
Okay, sorry. I really got rolling along on that, and I apologize. So you can, like I said, you can set up all of these different identities, but the really great thing about setting up some of these identities is that you can clear your cache all day long, and you will not affect any of your other programs that are not part of that browser identity. And that is terrific, because when you are running programs such as QBO, you need to clear your cache Basically, I clear mine every single morning, and if I have been heavy into my bookkeeping, I clear it halfway through the day. The final thing that I love about setting up identities is that you can sync your Google accounts so that if you work on multiple devices, so if you have a laptop and then you have a desktop computer and then maybe you've got something running on your iPad, if you sync your Google accounts, and we'll get to that in a second, if you sync it, they will automatically show up on your other devices so that all of your bookmarks are there, all of your passwords are there, everything you use is there to make your life easier. But again, one of the main reasons to have all of these settings is because you can clear your cache and you're not affecting the other programs. So we're going to talk about how to create your identity, and we'll come back to this deck in a minute. Creating your identity is very simple. You go to your settings. So this is your settings button right here. You go to your settings and you go into settings, and this is a little trick that I use. I never look for anything in Chrome. I always use the search bar, and then stuff pops up right away because you can get lost in searching for things in your settings in Google. And what you can do is you add a person, and then you pick an avatar. If you set your Google one, it will actually pick up your Google photo, which is kind of fun as well. So anyways, you pick your avatar, and then you name it, and that will be your new identity. In a PC program, you can create a desktop shortcut for this user, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. You can create a desktop, and then you can do two things. If it is not a browser identity that is associated with a Google account, you can import bookmarks from somewhere else, and we will come back to bookmarks in a second. You can also export bookmarks once this one is rolling and if you happen to really like it. But you can see over here that the desktop shortcut showed up. And then if you want to change your identity and work on something else, you can come back to another identity. So that is the long and short of creating your identity. And then what you need to do, if you associate your Google account with it, then you need to go into settings and you go to your advanced settings, and this is where you can sync your Google account. Again, I go with searching for things and it will show up. Sorry, I hope I'm not going too fast, but we've only got half an hour here. So I'm trying to make sure that we have time for questions at the end. So this is why I love to sync my Google account. All of your browsing data, your bookmarks, history, passwords are saved. If your device is stolen or broken, you will have all of your settings there. And when you sign into Chrome, you're automatically signed into things like Gmail, YouTube. And then I actually take it another step, and I go into settings, and right at the top, so you don't have to search for this one, I set my pages of what I want to use open. And again, I'll show you the magic of that. This is an awesome time saver. So when you go to that identity, sorry guys, when you go to that identity, of course not. You guys saw it happen before, I think. All of these tabs open up. So when I go into a program, you got to know that it wasn't going to do that, right? Why does this happen? Well, let's go to this one. So these are the things I use for another one of my identities, and you can see that I didn't have to open up the tab. I didn't have to log into. Well, I mean, I have to log in, but I didn't have to get the pages rolling and figure out what I was doing. That just worked out. And that is a great time saving if you happen to be someone who opens up a lot of things. So for me, in here, I always have this. Online will open up, Safety Net opens up, HubDoc opens up, and Pluto opens up. Now, I've been working in it already a bit today, so some of those have closed off. But that is just a great time saver. So far, I'm not seeing any questions. Okay, so that's good. We are going to go back to here for a second. Sorry if I'm jumping around, but it is a thing about using identities. So Incognito is really just a term for private browsing. You can do it two ways. In the Mac, it's super easy. If you go here, it'll show right up. It will be one of the options for the other person, the other identity. For a PC, though, you actually have to go to your settings and just open a new Incognito window, and then that will open up. The reason that you want to use an Incognito is a couple of things. You can work across multiple accounts all at once. So let's say you are in your accounting browser. You could actually open up an Incognito window. So if you were working in one account and you need to jump into another client account but don't want to get out of what you're doing, when you go Incognito, you can jump into another client account and it won't affect the one that you were already on. So you don't actually have to change identities. You can just jump into another QBO account. If you are working on a computer outside of your own, it will not hang on to, what it does is it doesn't hang on to your cookies and your cache and your browsing history. So if you're working in the library or at Starbucks or whatever, it's a good idea to use Incognito. If you want to test the security of unknown websites, again, those sites that either are looking for your, well, you have no idea. Somebody said to you, go to this website, it's great, you can buy clothes on it. You can actually test the security of it without giving up any of your own cookie and any of your own browser information. You can limit personal information for sites that mine. So Facebook, you know how you get all those annoying, or sometimes they're great, you get all those annoying ads. Well, they've been mining your information. If you use Facebook on Incognito, it will cut down on that dramatically. Also, and this is fun, for those of you that are working on your marketing for your firm, you can check your search ranking. Because if you continue to check your search ranking from a browser that you use regularly, your browser will already know that what you're looking for, and it will find you very quickly. So you will not get a good idea of how well your search ranking is. So if you go Incognito, you can find out pretty quick whether you're coming to the top of page or not. So that is also another little bonus of it. You can customize your identities then. So this is making your identity yours. I like to make all of my different identities look different, and we'll get to that in a second. But the way that you do that is you go into here and you go into more tools and you can add in extensions, and we'll talk about extensions in a second. But what you really want to do is you want to add some themes as well. So, or you don't need to add themes. Oh, sorry, it bounced back there. You don't need to add themes. Themes, and we're going to move on to themes now. So themes are just fun, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So you get beautiful themes like this. And so this one, I have my sunset going. This is my accounting one. So I keep it a little bit lighter. My cottage one has a cottage background. Our fly fishing one, there we go. Remember I said all your tabs will open automatically? Look at that. You don't have to do a thing. They all just magically open up. Anyways, this is a theme for my husband's Chrome page, and they're just nice. But the other thing is, if you are on a Mac, you will have your dock wherever you have it, and you will not be able to see the little icon that tells you what browsers you have open. So that is a good way to identify it. The PC world, it's our identity photo that we see first, and then when you expand them, you get to see your theme as well. Again, if I'm going too quickly, please just let me know. I want to make sure that this webinar is useful for you and that I'm getting across the information for you. So please don't hesitate to ask a question or tell me to slow down if I need to. So that is the themes, and you go into your settings, and then again, I don't search for things, but I also try to spell them correctly. You just type in themes, and you go to get a theme, and it will bring you up all kinds of them, like dogs and cats. But you can search. Let's say you want a blue one, or you want mountains, or you want green leaves. It will bring up only the ones that you want, and there is a ton of them out there, so have fun with your themes. There's also extensions. So themes are fun, extensions are useful. Extensions are things like awesome screenshot. I use OnePass so that I have all of my passwords saved in here. Chrome, you can also save your passwords in Chrome. I use OnePass so that I can use it on all kinds of devices. There is Awesome Screenshot, which is great. That is a theme. So you can see that themes are useful. I have my GoToMeeting theme, extensions. I'm sorry, not themes, extensions. And you can get your extensions right here in More Tools. And then you go to extensions. And in extensions, there is a whole world of them. So you can see what I have added in. But if you scroll down, again, it will take you to a whole world of themes. And you can just put in here what it is that you would like to add. So as I said, themes are fun, extensions are useful. The next thing that I want to talk about, and this is one of the things that will make your browser experience great, and that is adding in bookmarks. So we're going to get rid of a few things here because I'm doodling up my screen. Bookmarks, they are terrific. All you need to do to get to the next thing is to open up a tab and go to your bookmark. And I'm going to show you how that is going to work in QBO. And I'm sorry, I did have this up and running in the sample company. We had Craig's going. Let me just, because I have to have a browser open for that. And let's get Craig's landscaping, which we're all pretty familiar with, I do believe. So let's get Craig's landscaping going, and I will show you the magic of using bookmarks. First, I'm going to tell you that bookmarks are created up here, and I'm going to show you how to do that and make it work for you in a second. So when you are in something, let's say that I want to go to the banking tab. And this will bring me to the banking tab. And if I open a new tab and I want, let's say, another banking one, I'm just going to show you a couple of fun things. And you can have the MasterCard running in one and the checking account running in the other. And like I said, you can separate them. Now I use dual screens. So you could separate them and have them running side by side, so that you can see transfers that match are a good example. So you would know if you transferred from the MasterCard to the MasterCard from the checking. You can go straight to your reconciliation. And again, you could have your banking tab open. You can also go to your customers, and you can, maybe you want to make a bank deposit as well, or you want to check on what's happened with a bank deposit. So all of these things can happen with your bookmarks. I would like to say, and this is a word of caution, I do bookmark reports. So I bookmark P&Ls, all of these different things that we need. You cannot use them to send them to your client, though. They will have the name of the last company you worked in. So I use the bookmarks for the reports only to double check what the last thing that happened in an account was. I do not use it to send to the client. It's just a quick check. If I want to go and actually send reports to my client, then you need to go into the report and run the report for the client. So that is very important to remember. Don't send your clients a report from the tab. I love to create a journal entry. You can put in here pretty much anything that you want and just keep moving around and have a whole bunch of the tabs open so that you can just happily work in them all. We're going to get rid of a few now because that's the other thing I like to make sure that everybody keeps in mind is that don't have too many bookmarks open. So I set my customers up with the everyday tasks they need to accomplish. You open a new tab, hit the bookmark for the tab, and work right from there. It is a very personal experience. So my clients, I start them out with things like home, customers, invoice, receive payments, all that kind of thing. For me, I set myself up with banking, reconciliation. You can see all of my favorite little things that I roll through all day long, journal entries. Clients are not going to run through those. The one thing that I love, though, is to have search in here because sometimes you will lose your search bar if you have, let's say, a journal entry open. So I put search in there. Banking, obviously, is a favorite. But I am now about to show you what one of my absolute favorites is, and that is cache. I have cache first and foremost on my browser. And that way, it's no effort at all to clear my cache every day or twice a day. So it's all set up. These are the things I recommend you clear every single time. You just hit the clear browsing data. Now I am going to have to log back in, but I don't particularly consider that to be a big deal compared to getting the blue spinning wheel of death. So clear your cache, and I'm going to show you how to set up your cache bookmark in particular, but bookmarks in general. You go to your settings, and like I said, don't search for anything. Put in your cache, put in clear browsing data, make sure it's from the beginning of time, go through and tick off the things that you want, and then hit the bookmark. When you hit the bookmark, it is going to create the bookmark for that. And then you are away to the races. You don't have to do it anymore. What I do is I keep my cache one right at the beginning. So you can easily move bookmarks around to make them suit you. I do a lot of my bookmarks on the fly. So once you're in a QBO, you can start working in it, and then once you are in banking, you can create a bookmark right here. And then, like I said, you can slide them around and use them in the order that you want to use them in. And I'm just going to check the time. Oh dear. So everybody's experience is going to be different. We talked about bookmarking. Again, this is why, so that you can clear your cache. These are the browser optimization best practices. Clear your cache, open a new tab to change tasks. So you don't need to override what you're working in. Open a new tab to work in it. That being said, don't have too many tabs open, otherwise it also starts to tax your browser. Refresh your browser. So when you are working, and I think a lot of us know this, when you are working in, let's say, you are reconciling your statements, but then you go back into banking to add a new transaction. You need to match something up. If you do not refresh your browser, your reconciliation screen does not speak the same language anymore. It's stuck in the past. You need to bring your browser into the present. So if you're working in multiple tabs and what you are doing is going to affect the next step you need to take, make sure you refresh your browser. We said this, don't overtask your browser, go incognito, and set up your settings. Make sure, I find autofill is awesome. I like to customize my fonts. I set up my windows. We talked about this before. Setting up your opening windows is terrific. And I'm going to mention that one more time, how to do that. You just go into your settings, and it's only the second thing down. You can set your pages. You can set whatever you want, and that is a huge time saver. And that is it. I think I came in under the half-hour mark. So thank you. I hope you found the session beneficial. Oh, yeah, no problem.
I was just saying we're just at time. I want to thank you very much for taking the time to share your knowledge, experience with us. We don't really have additional time for questions, so I just wanted to hope that all those who joined us really found some value in the presentation. I myself have found it very informative. Again, I just want to say thank you to all who attended and to yourself, Kelly, for doing this great presentation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.